Yes, heaven, everyone. This is Tycoon Wibby, and once again, we are here to talk about thinking and speaking in years, right? And that's KYIS. Remember that, KYIS. Yes, it's a word that I had to make up because that's what it do, right? Those who can make up words will, right? And I comprehend the process of how to actually make up a word and why a word should be made up, right? Like I only think and speak in yes, right? In the same way that you guys got to it at Izzy Wizzy, we got two yeses, right? We have one yes, which is yeah, yeah, which is like just a pure affirming in a question form. And then we have yes, which is to build a certainty from affirming, right? Right? Because same way in that Izzy Wizzy language. So we're, yes, that moves us into the question that I would like to answer because I was hopping on people YouTube page and I forget the girl's name, but we'll bring her back later. And she asked me, "What is the geometry of yes?" Right? Halo time. So, what is the geometry of yes? Right? And so, when we begin to think about the geometries of yes, we begin to think about, okay, imagining, right? Imagining, because when you imagine a scene, right, it's different than imagining a feeling, right? When you imagine a scene, you are imagining particular geometric expressions. Yeah, yeah. A walk in a park, there's a billion ways a park can look, right? The park you choose depends on the geometric progression, the geometric expressions that you prefer. Yeah. Um, yeah, we do the straight shot, right? Um, so we begin to comprehend when we look at the everywhere. Yes, that's the one of the things that you got to wrap your mind in and comprehend everything that can be is, right? It's over there somewhere, right? All of it, right? And what is that something, right? Because if you just do a permutation on atomic arrangements, you can get most of the everywhere just with the tick-tock on atoms blending together, right? You can get a lot of the everywhere with just that, right? Uh, so when we begin to put a judgment on this particular geometric expression versus this particular geometric expression, yes, we begin to comprehend that, okay, if I imagine some of that izzy wizzy, right? That anti-heaven, that anti-yes, right? What does it look like, right? Because it's what you guys are imagining daily, right? Without ever fighting it. You just kind of imagine it, right? The yes mind learned that, okay, I was programmed to think of and think in the geometric expressions of that Izzy, right? So I have to relearn how to think in the geometric expressions in my imagining in yes, right? Because you ever have some yes happen to you? You ever have any of that? Ah, yes, right? Some of that yes, right? You ever have any of that yes happen to you, right? Well, when you're imagining, it is the very same way. Yes? When you're imagining that yes for your life, those are the same geometric expressions. Yes? So we begin to comprehend that yes, you can view the everywhere as a judgment on geometric expressions. Yes? And because we're talking about what does it take to even build these geometric expressions, right? Yes is happy, right? Yes is one of those positive energies. It takes a lot of energy to build a yes, right? Like it has to be built with those particular type of perturbations in the ether, right? And the same thing with these low forms of imaginings, right? This izzy wizzy mind, it it can only be built with low energies, right? If you try to build an izzy wizzy mind with high energies, yeah, you might discover yes, right? And the geometric expressions of yes inside of the everywhere, yeah? So when we begin to talk about those positive imaginings, right? Let's say that you're going after a job, right? There are two images that you can imagine, yeah? You can imagine getting the job and you can imagine them turning you down on the job, yeah? So the yes mind says, okay, I'm going to focus and imagine the yes for my life, right? So I'm imagining me getting a job. I'm feeling all good. Do my after I got a job dance, right? Imagine me saving that money up and getting me some assets, right? So, but in the other one, you can also imagine getting turned down for the job, right? And you can imagine feeling bad, right? You can imagine, well, where's the money going to come from, right? You can go down that particular path using those particular type of izzy wizzy energies. Yeah. uh so when we begin to talk about the geometric expressions of yes, right, we are referring to imagining, right, the mental images and the mental scenes and movies that you go through. Yes. um all of those positive type structures are the geometric expressions of yes, right? They are built with the yes energy. The yes energy, the perturbation through the ether of a particular frequency, right? Um, that happens to be high and fast powered, right? Um, Forms those particular geometries, right? So you begin to comprehend that, all right, when you think a sad thought or you think a low thought, the only geometries that can come from that are low, ugly geometries, and yeah, you about to get some failure, right? You can imagine those positive energies, those yes energies, right? Because you would like to get yes, right? So you imagine yourself getting yes and doing all the yes, right? And those state, you can only ever live through those states if you're on that yes anyway, right? Because this is real eternity here, right? There are rules to how life can go, and there is but one real rule. You only ever gonna get what you're imagining, right? The more you learn that the imagination is actual reality, the faster these things start to happen for you. Hey, it's just how it is, right? Welcome to eternity. It's a blast, right? Evan, Evan.